This is Fight Fuel MMA. We are grinding in Greenpoint, doing work in Williamsburg, banging from Brooklyn, and occasionally making moves in Manhattan. I am one half of your hosting team, David Clifford, aka Fishy Fridge on Twitter.
And I am Joy, at JoyGNY on Twitter.
Today we are going to be talking about UFC 200, the biggest event of the year for the UFC, taking place July 9th at the T-Mobile Arena in Vegas.
Yeah, this is supposed to be their biggest card yet. It's supposed to break records. It's, with the intention of, being the biggest, best thing ever.
They're setting it up to break all financial records they've had, attendance, everything, and they have basically the card riding on the back of the main event, which is going to be a rematch between Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. No title involved, at welterweight.
Okay, so where do we begin with this? So, UFC 200. Now, months ago when they were talking about UFC 200, when everyone was everyone's buzzing about it, oh, it's coming up. How many title fights did you imagine were going to be on this card?
I imagine 2 to 3 at least.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking.
Everyone was hoping for at least 2 huge title fights, big names finally clashing heads or having an epic rematch for a belt.
And not just that, you're thinking about UFC 100 when you think about UFC 200, which was an insane card. GSP versus Alves for the welterweight strap. Mm-hmm. Lesnar, the heavyweight strap was up for grabs. It was the best card the UFC had put on to date. So this card has to live up to those expectations. And from what I'm seeing on the fights, I think it's a very good card, but there's a couple things that are just killing me about it.
Yes, me too. And we're going to get to that. But let's start with the main event, the headliner, Conor McGregor versus Nate Diaz 2.
At welterweight.
At welterweight.
Why?
I'm just going to echo you because I completely agree.
You have 2 fighters, one of whom has fought once at welterweight before. That's McGregor, and got smoked and choked by Nate Diaz.
Smoked and choked.
Choked.
And stalked and slapped.
That several times.
Off his face.
And then you have Nate Diaz, a fighter who's fought welterweight before, but who is much better in the lightweight division, whose frame is much more suited to 155. And they're fighting at welterweight.
Yeah, they just fought a couple months ago, right?
Yeah.
I feel like... Now, I was talking to somebody on Twitter about this, right when they announced that, officially, that, because they've been talking about this for a while, McGregor, Diaz 2 for UFC 200, at welterweight, which is insane. But when they announced that, I was talking to somebody, I'm like, I just, said, I don't understand why this is at welterweight. Okay, a rematch, cool, it's, fresh in our minds. Okay,
Sell
UFC
tickets.
200, okay, yeah. But then, welterweight. And someone said to me, they're like, well, McGregor wants to prove himself that he could beat Diaz and he could beat him at welterweight because he lost at welterweight. I don't know. I don't really see what's the end game here.
This is the line that the company's telling. Dana White said McGregor wants to fight it he insisted on he wants welterweight. So this brings up a couple questions. One, who's the matchmaker for the UFC?
Yeah,
Conor McGregor? I thought it was Joe Silva, Sean Shelby.
Yeah.
Second, the first fight took place at welter because Nate didn't have enough time to drop the weight to fight at 55 at short notice.
Now, I don't know how the actual conversation went down, but you hear in different interviews, you see it on Twitter or wherever, that Diaz was like, I can make 155, I'll make 155.
I've heard a lot of different things.
But then McGregor's like, no, stay comfortable. We'll do it at 170.
I doubt Diaz wanted it to be at 55. He probably wanted to catch weight. For whatever reason, they made it 170. But now in this rematch, there's no reason to make it 170. The only reason I see is it's good for McGregor either way. One, if McGregor loses, which I think he's going to. I think he's going to get beat up on the feet again by Diaz and choked again by Diaz.
Yeah.
At least his lighter weight record is untarnished, and he could say at the end of the day, you know what? 170 was too big for me, but I manned up, I stepped up, I wanted to prove myself, that whole line. Second,
Yeah, it's a good position for him, but it's not a good position for anybody else
well, that's the thing.
except
Second,
Diaz.
for McGregor, now if he wins, he could say, I want to fight for the welterweight strap. Which, great, because if Lawler holds that strap, Lawler's going to put his fist through McGregor's face. So I'm not too upset about that.
Lawler
But,
is not human,
no, he is not human.
and he will smoke McGregor if
Yes.
the opportunity ever should arise.
But this talk of weights and straps brings us to another fight on this card, which
Yes.
is another rematch between Frankie Edgar and Jose Aldo.
Okay, so post-fight press conference of UFC 190. What's next for you, McGregor? Oh, I'm gonna defend my featherweight title. I need to go back down and defend my belt. It's the right thing to do. So I guess now, because I don't know, he wants the rematch right now. He decided not to defend his featherweight belt, and if you think about the timeline of everything, it's going to be over a year that the featherweight title is going to be defended.
Most likely, it'll be a year before he fights for the featherweight
Now,
strap.
Aldo is well deserving of a rematch.
Frankie Edgar is deserving of a shot.
So it's this shitty situation. So how do they make it shittier?
They pair Frankie Edgar and Jose Aldo together to fight for the interim featherweight strap. So no matter who wins, they both lose. It's a smack in the face to both of these fighters because the man holding the featherweight title
wants to play welterweight.
Is fighting in the main event on the night that they will be fighting for an interim belt. This is bullshit.
Yes. First of all, interim titles are bullshit. I do not agree with this idea of an interim title. I'm going to write a whole article about it. Check out for it soon.
This is going to be Joy's first article for Fight Fuel MMA. She's going to write about interim titles.
Yeah. Does anyone like an interim title?
Nobody likes it. Sometimes, in the case of when GSP had his leg surgery and was out for a year and a half, you could see why they make an interim title. But that's what it's there for.
Yeah. But when someone isn't injured, or when someone doesn't want to, I mean, not to say that he doesn't want to defend his title, but he doesn't want to defend his title
in a timely fashion.
Yes, the belt should be vacated.
You don't make an interim belt because the guy who holds it wants to fight in another division. I'm sorry.
To someone, to prove a point, I guess.
So regardless of this, look out for Joy's article on that because it's going to be good.
Yeah, I'll go into detail of many, the many reasons why interim titles are bullshit. But anyway.
What you do have is a good pairing between Jose Aldo and Frankie Edgar. Both great fighters. Where Edgar's skill set is undiminished, he's not falling off anytime soon. I think he looks to be at the top of his game. 45 is a class where he's not outsized. We're going to find out if Jose Aldo still has it in this fight.
Yeah.
And then we're going to get a fight with one of these two guys against Conor McGregor. So eventually, one of these two deserving fighters will get their shot, and we will see what happens.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate that it has to be done like this. It's kind of like a slap in the face to both Aldo and Edgar.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, especially Edgar. Like, he really deserves a title shot. He should be getting a shot.
He should be getting a title shot. Next up, we have the co-main. Hey, Joy, do you know who's fighting in the co-main?
We don't know.
Now, I don't know either.
I thought Aldo Edgar was the co-main.
No.
So I guess apparently it's not. There's talks swirling around the internet.
The interwebs.
The internet. That GSP versus Lawler.
Which is a great fight.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. I would like to see that as the marquee fight, as the main event.
Yes. GSP is considered one of the greatest fighters of all time. I consider him as one of the greatest fighters of all time. He's a legend. He's amazing. He's one of the most well-rounded fighters we've ever seen.
Top 3 greatest UFC fighters that we've had. You could say top 5, but
Canada's
he's up there.
Greatest export.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
100%.
Sorry, Bresty.
We'll take GSP. You guys in Canada can have Justin Bieber and and any other Canadian.
Yeah, you can
have
them
all. Oh, yeah, they can have
Yeah,
Bret Hart.
I'll take GSP over Hart.
Yeah.
So
we'll take Kevin Owens and we'll take GSP.
Give me those two.
Yeah, anyway.
So we're still waiting on the co-main. If it is GSP Lawler, the UFC just smacks another couple fighters in the face with the billing, with the way they've got this card lined up.
UFC 200, if there were any more deserving, better, like, optimum time for a main event for 200, the biggest card, it should be GSP versus Lawler, not
a non-title fight.
That has
and I love
really
Nate
nothing.
Diaz. I'm happy he's going to be making money. I'm happy he's getting top billing. He deserves it. But the way this card's lined up, I just think it's bad matchmaking.
Yeah, I really hope that neither GSP nor Robbie Lawler agree to this fight as
Not
the
as
co-main.
the co-main, I agree.
Because it's just insane. Because that's just saying, like, titles don't really matter. Yeah. Money matters. And our fighters are going to make the fights because, you know.
And some people feel that way. I mean, Nate Diaz has referred to the belt as a fairy tale. Mm-hmm. For Nate Diaz, he wants big fights, he wants money fights, he wants to take care of himself through fighting. Yeah. Yes, he's a prize fighter. But the way the UFC runs is the strap is what people are going for. That's what's got to get top billing.
Yes.
In my mind.
If you are a fight organization, you're going to put your title before anything else as far as billing is concerned.
Yeah.
The title should be the most important thing. You need to protect the integrity of the title.
Absolutely.
And by, having McGregor say he wants another shot at Nate Diaz, okay, great. But if GSP Lawler is going to be on this card, that damn well better sure be the main event.
I agree.
Done. End of story.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the rest of the card.
So, rest of the card, we've got, in no particular order here because we don't know what they're going to be.
Yeah,
We've got Cain Velasquez versus Travis Brown.
Heavyweight bout.
It's a fight to tell us if Cain's fully recovered from his injury, because if he is, he's going to smoke Brown. Brown's a good fighter, but Velasquez is going to put the pace on him like he does to everybody, stifle him, keep the fight in close, and beat him up for 3 to 5 rounds.
Yeah,
3 in this case.
I don't see anything that Brown has done recently that could convince me that he can beat Velasquez.
And in shape Velasquez.
In shape on his game Velasquez.
No.
Right. So, I don't know. Unless Velasquez is not on his game that night, I mean, Brown could win, but his last win wasn't that impressive. He even said it wasn't.
Fight was a terrible
He was actually, I think it was right after the fight they interviewed him, and he was just like, I wasn't impressed with that.
No,
he's like, next time I'm going to bring it.
Okay, so I hope he brings it.
I hope he does.
I hope Cain brings it. I think we'll have a good heavyweight fight.
Yeah, we need a real exciting heavyweight fight on this card. For sure. So
next, we've got Kelvin Gastelum versus Johnny Hendricks. Now, the actual fight is going to take place on the day of the weigh-ins.
Oh, boy.
We're going to see if both these guys make weight.
Well, okay. Hendricks usually makes weight.
Yes.
It's not him making weight. It's how he makes the weight. If he goes through a healthy camp and he diets right and he gets to that weight in a healthy manner, then he has a big advantage. If he has a shitty camp and
tries to lose 50, 60 pounds before the night of the fight, it's going to be bad. He looked in really good shape coming in the ring against Wonder Boy.
He had a great camp, but he went against Wonder Boy, so...
And Wonder Boy smoked him.
Yeah. Which I don't know.
Gastelum is the real question mark here. I think Gastelum's missed weight 3 times, I believe. One time by like 8 pounds.
One time it was the day of the fight he had to be hospitalized, or the day of the weigh-ins he had to be hospitalized, or something like that.
Gastelum, I think, has the potential to be a champion in a few years. I think his biggest problem is keeping his weight under control. And you know what? If he can't fight 170...
He should just go to 185.
Maybe he's got to move to 185. He won the Ultimate Fighter at 185. I mean, he could do it.
He's playing well. Like, I mean, this is another thing. I mean, from welterweight to middleweight.
Yeah.
Is 15 pounds.
It's a big jump.
Yeah. So he's kind of stuck in a situation where he's got a greater advantage at welterweight.
Absolutely.
But
if he can keep in shape off season.
If it were 175, maybe he could make it and be a champion.
Yeah, something like that. I still say if he goes down to 170 and keeps the weight down in between camps, goes in, he could make weight and be a champion.
Mm-hmm.
But we're going to see a really good fight between two guys who are good on the ground, good on the feet here. I mean,
Yeah.
Hendricks has that KO power, but his wrestling, I feel like recently people have either forgotten about it or don't want to hear it, but that's what brought him to the dance.
Yeah. Him, I really want to see a Hendricks with a great camp and on his game. Like when I first started watching him fight.
Yep.
What, like Hendricks GSP. I want to see that again.
I want to see that
He's
guy.
an amazing
Yep.
fighter. He kind of fell off for me, in my opinion. But
he's not where he was a couple years ago. There's a quick
No.
turnaround from champion to a fighter whose career is in question right now.
yeah, and man, I'm really rooting for him. His power. Oh
That
my
big
gosh.
left, yep.
What he did to GSP that fight. I mean, so hopefully, I mean, time will tell. It's still a long way away. Did we say the date and everything of
I
everything?
believe we did.
Okay.
July 9th.
Yeah, so it's July
T-Mobile
9th.
Arena in Vegas. So this is in the future, but
Yeah, it all depends on how his camp goes.
well, we're gonna see.
Yeah.
Now, for me, I actually hope Gastelum pulls it together and takes this fight because I think he's a fighter who he's got places to go in his career. I think if he manages his weight better, look out. Within 3 years, he'll be a champ or knocking on the title door.
Cool. I hope so.
Now we've got Mousasi versus Brunson, middleweight fight.
Yeah.
Mousasi was a straight killer outside of the UFC. Inside of the UFC, he's had a couple stumbles. He hasn't lived up to what I think his potential is. Incredibly intelligent, well-rounded fighter.
Mm-hmm.
But now he is fighting a surging Brunson, who's on a four-fight win
yeah.
streak. But the level of competition of the guys Brunson has been
Questionable.
fighting lately, they're not top 10 fighters.
Yeah. But he is on a 4-fight win streak.
Yeah.
This is his test.
Yep. Yes,
Mousasi
Mousasi
is
is
a
a
huge test for
stern
him.
test.
Yeah.
If Brunson gets past Mousasi, he's ready to be spoken of as a contender.
Yeah, for sure.
Both have lost to Jacare Souza in the past. No shame losing to Souza, great
Oh,
fighter,
hell no.
but
He's amazing.
that is a common opponent they've both lost to.
Yeah. So who knows what could happen?
Whoa, we've got Joe Lozon versus Diego Sanchez. So we have the fight of the night lined up. 155-pound fight of the night.
Lozon's back. He was injured for a while, right?
Joe Lozon is the kind of fighter who looks for the finish from the opening bell till the closing.
Yeah.
He jumps on subs. He's willing to sacrifice position to get a sub.
That's exciting.
He throws hands. He is always willing to put himself in danger to get that finish. And oftentimes it's a spectacular finish. Earning him the nickname the Bonus Hunter.
Yeah. But you know what? That's how he fights. That's his style. That's how he likes to put on a fight. You know what? And it's exciting for us to watch. So
It's exciting. He's made his
man,
peace
props.
with that he's going to lose some because of
Yeah.
this kind of dangerous style, but it's how
you
he
gotta
fights.
go for it.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
Let's go, Joe.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see him fight again. And he's going against Diego
Sanchez. Yes, he is.
Tell me.
Original Ultimate Fighter. Sanchez basically turns the go switch on and goes. Great cardio. He pushes the pace, bites down on his mouthpiece, gets in there and starts winging punches. It's what he's going to do.
Oh,
It's
this is
what
gonna
he
be so
does
exciting.
every fight. And it's a perfect matchup because he's going to bring it to Lozon. Lozon's going to look to capitalize on Diego's pressure. Neither one of these guys is going to back down in this fight.
Oh, hell no.
This is I'm calling fight of the night.
gonna be fire.
It's an easy prediction. Straight fire, son.
Fire, son! Yeah, I'm really excited for that fight.
The last fight we got, Takanori.
No, there's one before it.
Where am I?
Northcutt.
Oh, yeah, I tried to forget about that one.
Yeah. So Super Sage Northcutt versus
Cheech Marin? Who is this guy?
I don't really know too much about the guy he's fighting. He's a Spanish guy from Spain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lightweight fight, not 170 this time.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. The Barberina fight was at 170.
Yes. So here's the thing with Sage Northcutt. He looks like Zach Morris. He's built like a Super Saiyan. He may be part Super Saiyan. I don't know. His dad's Vegeta. I don't know. He's a very exciting fighter to watch. I'm on the hype train, whatever. He is very exciting to watch, I have to say.
Yeah.
Even when he loses.
Look, he gets a lot of hate because of the way he looks, because he tries to keep everything positive all the time. He's 19.
Whatever. He's a kid.
He's a kid.
And
He's fighting
he's
in
so
the UFC.
impressive at 19. So, you know what?
I don't
wanna
see
see
any
him
reason to
fight.
hate him. He can't help
reason.
the fact that he looks like an Abercrombie model.
Yeah.
Let's see what he's got to do. We'll see. Can he get his hype train rolling again?
I
We're gonna
hope
find
so.
out.
I really want to see him like tear it up in the UFC.
I got no problems with Sage Northcutt. I
Me
think he's a
neither.
prospect that they're going to develop and hope good things for him.
Yeah, just because Dana White loves his little baby boy doesn't mean that we have to hate him. Okay?
We're above that.
We're above that.
All right, now last confirmed fight that we've got. Takanori Gomi, the Fireball Kid,
Yeah.
versus Jim Miller.
Jim Miller.
Jersey boy.
Oh, Jim Miller. He's been losing, but I really like to watch him fight, and I really like him as a fighter.
I have always liked watching Jim Miller fight. He is a tough guy from New Jersey with an excellent grappling game, good striking. Just one of these fighters who's been around forever, always in the mix, always brings it. He's always in shape, tough, some really good fights under his belt.
Yeah. He's had a hell of a career.
I'd like to see Miller win this fight.
Yeah,
I
me
think
too.
Gomi's towards the end of his career. I'm a fan of Miller, so I'm pulling for him.
Yeah, so that's what we have so far.
I'm also going to call Jim Miller by first round sub in this fight.
Oh, I hope so. Jim Miller,
Me too.
rooting for you, Jersey. Oh, we got two Jersey boys in the house, Edgar and Miller.
Mm-hmm. And you know we're pulling for Edgar hardcore because of his association with
Yeah.
Renzo Gracie.
Yes.
Where we train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at Renzo Gracie's Fight Academy in Brooklyn. So, let's go Jersey!
Yeah, well, okay. Real quick, let's run down the line. So, Diaz-McGregor, we got Diaz. Aldo Edgar, that could really go either way.
I'd like to see Edgar take it, but it
Yeah,
could go
Aldo
either
has
way.
had an incredible 10-year undefeated streak. He is an amazing fighter. He has proved himself time and time again. It's Edgar's time.
I
It's
agree.
his time, and I know that he could definitely beat McGregor.
Yeah, that too. He is
Yeah.
the worst possible matchup for McGregor. So
Yes.
let's go
So I
Frankie
want to
Edgar.
see that. I want to see McGregor get challenged.
I want to
'Cause
see Frankie Edgar.
A lot of his fights have been, well, the Aldo one, he caught him, and mad respect to McGregor
Respect
for
to
getting
McGregor.
that finish like that. Like, wow.
It was sick. It was some samurai
And
shit.
Yeah, and he does some highlight reel shit. He's a real
He's
fighter.
a very good fighter.
He is a very good fighter.
That being said,
But it's all like, not that it's smoke and mirrors like on the UFC side, but like they
styles
really
make fights,
matched him
and
out.
they are giving him good matchups.
Yes.
And Frankie Edgar is the worst matchup for him in the division.
So I
He is
want to
the title
see it.
holder.
I want to see if he can pull through and really be the champion.
I
that
want
he
to see
claims.
Frankie Edgar working for 5
Yeah,
rounds.
me too. But you know, I'm trying to play both sides right now. You know what I'm saying?
She's being objective.
Anyway.
Hendricks Gastelum. I'm calling Gastelum.
Yeah. I really hope Hendricks.
All right, we're split. You want Hendricks to
I
win?
don't know. I don't know who's gonna win, but I hope Hendricks wins for his own sake.
I got
Gastelum
on
could
this.
go up to 185.
He could, but I got Gastelum on
Yeah.
this, and I got him moving forward.
All right, so Velasquez Brown. I think Velasquez is gonna win.
This fight is just to tell if Velasquez is recovered. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Musasi Brunson? Has Brunson hit that tipping point where his motivation, where his streak is going to carry him forward, or is Musasi going to stop him? I don't know.
Yeah, that could go either way. I don't know. All right.
Sanchez
Well,
Lozon. Joe Lozon by submission.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Sanchez. I think he's gonna like knock him out. Not knock him out, but
Catch him.
catch him TKO maybe.
Yeah. All right.
Unfortunately, sorry, Lozon.
Northcutt versus Marin. I don't know.
I don't know enough about Marin.
I don't know enough about him either, but
I
I'm going to
hope
say
Northcutt-
Northcutt
yeah,
based on the fact that they want to get that train rolling again.
Yeah.
They're giving him a fight, I feel like.
Yeah, I hope he wins.
And Miller versus Gomi?
Miller,
Jim Miller.
come on, Miller, we need you to win.
All right, so
now,
guys.
oh wait, before we go, real quick, this potential, in air quotes, GSP Lawler. Who do you think could win that? Who even
I
knows?
think GSP
Yeah. If GSP is the fighter that he was before he
well rested,
left,
ready to go. I think if GSP could put Lawler on his back, I think he takes it.
Yeah.
Put him on his back all 5 rounds. That's it.
Lawler is not human though.
He's not human.
But
GSP
Lawler
is
can knock anybody out.
obsessed.
Yeah. But can GSP take a punch again?
Look,
Who
if
knows?
Lawler catches GSP, he could put him out.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Look what he did to McDonald, and
Yeah.
they have very similar fighting styles.
Yeah, you are right. Both trained at TriStar. I still
But
got to
I
go
think
with GSP.
Yeah, I think McDonald is a better match for Lawler. As
Because
far as
McDonald wanted
styles
to keep
and-
it standing.
Yeah.
Lawler wants it standing.
See, GSP wants.
He will want that fight
he
on
will
the ground.
Yeah,
He's
so
going to
it's
tire
not
Lawler.
as good of a matchup for Lawler.
Yep.
So, even though they have similar styles, the Lawler McDonald was a better matchup
For Lawler and for
Yeah.
the fans.
and for the
Come
fans.
on,
That was fight of the
was
year.
Insane fight, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we digress. We're gonna sign off here. What are your thoughts about the UFC 200 card? Are you disappointed?
Are you happy?
Are you underwhelmed?
Are you overwhelmed? Are you whelmed?
Are you gonna shit your pants
I'm
in
not,
excitement and
personally.
anticipation?
Do you think anything about this card? Hit us back. Leave
Yeah.
comments. Get in touch with us. Tweet
You know
at us.
how we feel now.
You know, like,
We're-
share, do the things that you do on the interwebs. Thanks
All
for
that
listening,
good
guys.
Thank
Signing
you.
off from Brooklyn.
Yeah. This is Fight Fuel MMA signing out. We'll see you next time.
Peace.